It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by SureHold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, SureHold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
ShipShape is being brought to you in part by the Marine Industries Association of Palm Beach County, boating, the lifestyle of Palm Beach County, and by High Seas Fabrication, the finest in marine metal fabrication, and by Stella Marine, a crest above the rest, and by Ocean Marine, worldwide excellence in marine air conditioning.
Welcome to ShipShape, the boat improvement show. I'm your host, John Greviskis, and this is my partner, the engaging one himself, Bert.
Howdy, folks.
Today's show is about gauges. We're going to walk you through how we install a tachometer and a fuel gauge.
The procedure we'll be doing today covers most of your gauges, so you may want to jot down a few notes.
And as always, if there's a suggestion for a project, procedure, or equipment that you'd like us to cover here at ShipShape, write us a letter or send us a fax.
Write your project suggestions to ShipShape, the TV show. Attention Project Director, Post Office Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida 33420. Or fax us at area code 407-626-4348.
If we use your suggestion on the show, we'll send you a shirt.
Bert, why don't you go ahead and give us the background on this boat?
Okay, this boat belongs to Wally Paris. And what happened with this boat, the positive cable coming from the battery going to our solenoid broke.
Can we take a look
Sure.
at that?
The cable right here broke right at this terminal. And what happened when it broke is, as the motor's running, it had no place to return its charge to because it's building a charge as it's running.
Okay.
So what happened is it fed back through the wiring harness up to the gauges and then burned out our gauges.
Well, how in-depth is the replacement of these?
It's just remove and replace.
Okay, well, why don't we do this? Why don't you go ahead and get set up for today's project? I'll head on over to Boat Owners Warehouse and speak with my friend Larry Cooper, see
Okay.
what he has available.
All right, we'll do that.
Don't float away. ShipShape. We'll be right back.
Why wax when you can pro polish? This premium protective wax from SureHold can be used on virtually any non-porous surface, such as cars, boats, RVs, home equipment, and more. Pro Polish is scientifically formulated to repel water, provide a deep, high-gloss shine, and protect surfaces from the effects of UV rays, salt water, and other harsh environmental elements. Unlike traditional waxes, Pro Polish contains no talc or fillers, which means easy wipe-on, wipe-off performance that doesn't clog up microfiber towels. Enjoy a new way to protect with SureHold's Pro Polish. SureHold, clean and simple.
Good morning, Larry.
Hey, John, how you doing this morning?
Good, how are you?
All right. What project you guys working on today?
We're replacing a couple of gauges, and I was wondering if you could help us select some new ones.
Sure. We'll step over to the gauges department. I'll show you what we've got. We'll pick something out for you.
Larry, we've got a 1986 Johnson Outboard 70 horsepower engine. Now, we need a tachometer. I was wondering what you recommend.
Okay. For that job, we'll use the Aquameter 0 to 6,000 RPM tack.
Okay. Now, are there a lot of different manufacturers that make gauges?
Yeah, there's quite a few out there. There's Teleflex, Aquameter, and Stuart Warner, BDO, and then there's all the OEM brands that are out there in the market.
Now, do they make little slight variations on tachometers, or is pretty much a tack?
They're pretty much the same other than style, color, and design.
Okay. How do these things actually work, Larry?
They work off of an impulse that's put out by the engine, and that lead goes onto the S for sender. You have a ignition lead from the switch, and you have 2 leads for your light for at night use.
Great.
We also have your adjustment for your impulses from the engine.
How do you know how to adjust it?
The instructions will tell you the different engines, the different impulses, and tell you where to set it.
Okay, great. We're also going to need a fuel gauge.
Okay, for that we'll stay with the same brand.
Okay.
That way they'll match.
Nice. Now, is this pretty much on the same principle as the tachometer?
No, that's as it works off ohms, and basically it's just an ohms meter. As the gauge is empty, it's leading the least resistance, and as the gauge goes up to read full, it's creating more resistance, so the needle moves up on the gauge.
So this is the actual sending, or the sender, in the gas tank.
Correct.
And this is the flow.
Right.
So when it's higher up, it has more resistance.
More resistance, yes.
Which reads full on the gas tank, or on the gauge.
Right.
And then when it's down, you have the least amount of resistance, and that's going to show that it's empty.
Correct.
Well, I believe this is all the stuff that we're going to need for today's project. Larry, again, thanks for being on ShipShape, and until next week.
Okay. Thanks, John.
Here we go, Bert. Everything we need for today's project.
All right, great.
What's the first thing we need to do?
All we need to do is test our gauge. Make sure that we have power and we have the ground coming to the gauge.
How do we do that?
Well, we'll take our test light, and I'll hook the test light up against the negative side of the battery here. Fortunate to have it right underneath the console, so close to us. Turn our ignition on, so we supposedly have power going to the gauge. But what I'm going to do is I'll touch the positive side of the gauge, make sure my light lights up, and it does.
Are those clearly marked, Bert?
Yeah. On the back side of the gauge, you'll have where the wires go. They're abbreviated for like the sending wire, the ground, and the power. And you also have a light wire. Now I'll check our ground, and our ground is good. Now this I've already checked, and our sending unit is good in this particular boat.
Okay.
What I got here, I got a gauge already set up that I put jumper wires on the back. I've got our ground on the ground, red on the positive.
Okay.
I got a blue wire on my sending post. So what I'll do is I'll hook up our power lead to the positive side of the battery.
That's probably a good idea for everybody to have these kind of jumper wires in their toolkit.
Yeah, sure. You never know when you can use them for all kinds of things, you know. Testing stuff. Hook this up to our negative, excuse me. And I'll take my sending wire. I got hooked to the post, sending post. And I'll ground this out. When I ground it out, you'll see the gauge. It'll peg the gauge.
Okay. So we know that this gauge is functional.
Now, if this one was to do it, you know, okay, my problem's not with my gauge. But this one is completely shot.
Okay. So what's all involved in replacing that gauge?
Actually, there's just a small bracket, 3 wires, in and out.
Well, why don't we go ahead and do that?
Okie dokie. All right, we're going to disconnect our wires, make sure our key is off so we have no power going to it again. And this is the sending wire. All right.
How bad are the connections, Bert?
They're a little corroded. It's not too bad, to be totally honest with you. Also, when you're putting your new gauges in, after you get them installed, you can buy some corrosion inhibitor and spray on the post, and that'll prevent or slow down a lot of your corrosion, which is a pretty good idea to do. Get these nuts off. We're ready to drop in our new gauge. stuff down here out of the way. All right, let's drop in our new gauge, see how it fits. All right. Now our new gauge is just is slightly larger than our old gauge. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to open up this hole a little bit. And that's not really a problem. Just a rotary file on a power drill and you'll be able to enlarge the hole enough to accommodate the new gauge. You're only talking maybe a 1/16 diameter difference. All right, now that we've opened up our hole for our gauge here, I'm going to go ahead and install it. Slide her right in here like this. Nice snug fit. Got her straight up and down there. All right, John, where's the hardware? Here it is.
There you go.
Okie dokie. Now I'm going to be hooking up the power and the ground, the sending unit wire, and our fuel gauge will be installed. And we'll move on to our tack. Okay, what I'm going to be doing is hooking up the power, the ground, and the sending unit. You've got your power lead here, your ground, and your sending unit. This other post is for the light, and Wally's going to be hooking it up at a later date. Since there wasn't one on the other one, I'm not going to mess with it on this one. So I'll hook my power, slide in my ground. Get the nut here.
What type of washers are those, Bert?
They're just little like star lock washers just to keep it from vibrating loose, keep your connection good and tight. And here again, this is when you get this installed, this is where you want to put that corrosion inhibitor, you know. Give it a little spray on the back, keep your gauge, or help keep it in good working order for quite some time. And then we'll hook up our sending unit lead. Also, when you're checking your gauge out, you definitely do not want to send 12 volts through your sending unit wire because that goes straight into your fuel tank.
Okay.
And that's a definite no-no. So never hook up any jumper wire or anything to your sending unit from your battery, the positive side of your battery, because you do not want to do that. All right, I'm going to snug up these wires and then we'll move on to the tack. Now I'm going to be installing the retaining clip and our fuel gauge will be installed.
While Bert's tightening up all the nuts, we're going to go to a short break. And when we come back, we're going to attack the tack.
The Surehold Soft Brush. Perfect for use on boats, cars and trucks, decks and patios, and even windows. Specially designed split-end bristles hold more soap and water for effortless and effective cleaning. Built-in safety bumper protects surrounding surfaces from accidental damage. The included 48-inch threaded wooded handle is sturdy, lightweight, and strong. Proudly made in the USA, the Surehold Marine Mate Soft Brush is the worldwide standard in deck brushes. Surehold. Clean and simple.
Welcome back to the show. Bert, can you explain to me how a tachometer actually works?
Okay, what we have is you have a charge coil underneath your flywheel. Now your charge coil sends a signal down to your voltage regulator. From your voltage regulator, it sends the signal up to your tachometer. Now this particular engine sends out a 6-pulse signal.
Are most engines the same way?
They do send out the signal, but their pulses vary.
Now how do you know how many pulses your engine puts out?
What you can do is you can either look it up in a maintenance manual for the particular engine you have, or you can contact a dealer or the manufacturer, tell them the horsepower, the year, and they'll be able to tell you what your engine puts out.
Great. Now how does the tack actually read how many pulses?
On the back of the tack you have a selector switch. You just put it on the proper number that the pulses that the engine is sending out, and then it'll register properly on the dash for you.
Larry over at Boat Owners Warehouse was showing us something. I believe the selector switch was going from like a 1 to 10 kind of setting.
I believe that's true.
What we would have to do is set it to 6 because this particular engine is putting out 6 pulses.
Yes.
Well, why don't we go ahead and do the installation on the tachometer.
All right, now I'm going to set this on our 6 pulse setting. All right, I got it right there. Okay, now we're ready to disconnect our old one, and then we'll install our new tach. Again, you want to make sure you do have your power turned off when you're disconnecting your wires, just to make sure you don't blow a fuse or damage any of your other gauges that you've already installed. All right. Okay, I'm going to disconnect the 12-volt current wire, which is this purple wire right here. Now my gray wire over on the left-hand side, that's the one that sends the signal up to the tach. That sends the pulse that we were talking about from your voltage regulator. And I'll disconnect it next. And my black wire, that's my ground for the tach. All right, we've got our tach out. Check out our new one. Hopefully it's the same size. And it is. Great. Make sure I got it straight up and down here. Looks fairly straight. Okay, now what you need to do, get your new mounting hardware, and you just want to reverse the process that we did on the old tach.
When you're replacing gauges on your boat, there are a few things you need to remember. First, is it the gauge that's the problem? Check your connections and check your wires first. Secondly, make sure the replacement gauge that you're getting is the correct gauge. Thirdly, always look at your engine manual for specifications of anything that's coming out, especially when you're talking about the tachometer. And always make sure that the power supply is off when you're working around electrical on a boat. Bert, why don't we go ahead and fire it up and see how she runs?
Okay.
Well, it appears to be shipshape, Bert. Good job.
Don't drift off. Shipshape will be right back.
No more frozen snaps and zippers with the SureHold Snap Stick. The easy-to-apply wax is specifically designed to lubricate snaps, zippers, and other mechanical fasteners that are susceptible to corrosion. Add protection and lubricate valuable parts in just a matter of seconds. Stop fighting with snaps and zippers and add a quick dab of water-resistant SureHold Snap Stick. SureHold. Clean and simple.
Chapman's Corner is brought to you by Chapman School of Seamanship.
Today on Chapman's Corner, we're going to demonstrate the correct way to ignite a Coast Guard approved red handheld flare. The flare that I have here in my hand is Coast Guard approved. It burns for approximately 2 minutes. It burns at a candle power of 500. In order to correctly light this flare off, I'm going to remove the black end, which exposes the first striking surface. I'm then going to remove the red cap, which now exposes the flare striking surface. I want to make sure that I extend this well overboard because it's going to be dripping a hot solution once I ignite it. Always turn your back to the wind. When you're ready to light, go ahead and turn your lighter like this, turn your face away, and strike. From Chapman School of Seamanship, this is Tom Dante.
When we're talking about what's out on the water, we're talking about the new sport utility boats. I'm at Sarville Harbor in Palm Beach Gardens at Stella Marine, And with me again today is Bob Stella, the owner of Stella Marine. Bob, welcome to Shipshape.
Welcome aboard.
Now, what vessel are we going to be taking a look at today?
This is the brand new Regal 20 Destiny. This is a total utility boat. It's probably the smartest one in the world. You can do anything you want on this boat in the water.
It's fantastic. Now, what are some of the features that this boat has?
Well, believe it or not, it's got live bait well. It's got rod holders.
Oh, nice.
It's got a compartment, tuck away your rods.
I like
Some
that.
of the larger boats don't have. Fish boxes. It's got a beautiful center console helm.
Okay.
Under that helm there's a large private head.
Really?
You know how important that is.
Absolutely. Well, it seems to me like Regal has really thought of every family member when they designed this boat. The enclosed head. Mom likes that. The shower. Mom likes that. I'm also sitting under a bimini top. I mean, if you have little ones, you're going to be able to get them out of the sun, and I think that's real important.
Even big ones.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like the fact that Dad can sit there and have his fishing tackle. He can have his live bait wells. This is an all-around sport utility boat, and I think that's what more and more families are getting into today. Price-wise, what are we talking about on this vessel, Bob?
The base price on this boat is around $19,000.
Very affordable, very affordable. Now, how is this vessel powered?
This particular boat is powered with a 5.0 Volvo. She'll run over 45 miles an hour.
Oh, that's great.
So no longer do you look good in the water, but you look fast.
Fantastic. So this is an all-around sport utility vessel. Now, Regal's also come out with a jet boat. Can you tell us a little about that?
The Regal Rush jet boat. It's a great little boat.
Now, Bob, why are these so popular?
Anyone can use them,
Okay.
all ages. Very, very safe boat.
Okay.
You can't tip them over.
Let's get into why they call this the jet drive.
They call it a jet drive because that's actually what it is. It's a jet drive. You notice there's no propeller?
Wow.
It pushes air out, which pushes the water,
Okay.
which propels it forward.
So this is a advanced jet ski.
Basically, that's what it is,
Okay.
only it's for the family.
I've got you.
For the
I've got
family.
you. Well, now, what's this feature back here?
This is a big sun pad, a large sun pad,
Okay.
okay? As you open this up, you have your engine access.
All right. Let's take a look at
Okay.
what we have here.
Basically, it's a 120 horsepower outboard engine with a jet drive.
Wow. Fantastic. Now, more and more people are getting into this.
It's affordable. Anyone can get into it. Financing is great. $150 a month. You can store your water skis in here.
Fantastic.
You can pull 2 skiers.
Okay. Great. What other features does she have?
The other feature she has is, of course, it's larger than most jet boats. They've done
Right.
their homework again. It's 4 or 5 inches longer. It's several inches wider. It has a beautiful non-skid in the floor.
That's real nice. Yeah.
If it was to fill up with water, it drains right overboard. It's got a storage compartment up forward for a cooler.
Okay.
Okay. Triple seating, so you're really seating very, very comfortably as you're bouncing through the waves.
I've got you.
And it's a fun boat.
Sure.
People have to do 360s in these. This will run 45 miles an hour.
Oh, boy. So she's fast and all of that. Now, where can people come and preview not only the jet boat, but also the 20-foot Regal?
We have them at both of our facilities, at Palm Beach Gardens, at Stella Marine, and we have them in Stewart at Stella Marine. We have an ample supply of these in inventory all the time.
Great. Well, Bob, again, thanks for being on Shipshape.
Okay, thanks for having
Thanks.
us.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it.
And be sure to tune in next week and check out our new project.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. Shipshape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, Shipshape means trouble-free. Shipshape means being neater. Shipshape makes boat work easier. Shipshape is the way to go. The Shipshape boat guarantee.